How to Win Every Argument, The Art of Thinking and Persuasion, based on the work of Madsen Pirie. Educational Summary Script. Welcome to this audiobook, How to Win Every Argument, The Art of Thinking and Persuasion, inspired by the ideas of philosopher Madsen Pirie. This presentation is an original, educational interpretation written in fresh language. Its purpose is to help you understand the logic, psychology, and strategy behind winning arguments in daily life, at work, in relationships, in debates, and even in your own mind. Argument is not about shouting louder or humiliating others. It's about learning to think clearly, communicate effectively, and recognize when false logic is being used against you. Once you understand the patterns of reasoning and the traps of manipulation, you become a stronger, calmer, and more persuasive thinker. In this audiobook, you will discover how arguments are built, how they can collapse through logical fallacies, and how to defend yourself from being fooled by clever words. By the end, you'll not only know how to win arguments, you'll know when not to argue at all. Chapter 1. The Power of Reasoning. Every argument is built on reasoning, the process of connecting ideas to reach a conclusion. Good reasoning is like a solid bridge. It carries the weight of truth. Bad reasoning is a broken bridge. It looks strong, but one step and you fall into confusion. To win arguments, you must learn to recognize both kinds. The people who master reasoning are not necessarily those with the loudest voices, but those who can quietly see what others miss, the hidden flaw or false assumption that weakens an opponent's case. Let's start with the most common weaknesses in reasoning, known as fallacies. A fallacy is a trick of logic, an argument that sounds right but isn't. They appear in politics, advertising, news, and social media every single day. Chapter 1. The Power of Reasoning. Every argument is built on reasoning, the process of connecting ideas to reach a conclusion. Good reasoning is like a solid bridge. It carries the weight of truth. Bad reasoning is a broken bridge. It looks strong, but one step and you fall into confusion. To win arguments, you must learn to recognize both kinds. The people who master reasoning are not necessarily those with the loudest voices, but those who can quietly see what others miss, the hidden flaw or false assumption that weakens an opponent's case. Let's start with the most common weaknesses in reasoning, known as fallacies. A fallacy is a trick of logic, an argument that sounds right but isn't. They appear in politics, advertising, news, and social media every single day. Chapter 2. The ad hominem fallacy. Imagine you're discussing a serious topic and someone says, "Why should we listen to you? You failed at that last project." That's an ad hominem attack. Latin for against the person. Instead of focusing on your idea, the person attacks you. It's like throwing mud instead of making a point. To win such arguments, stay calm. Bring the focus back to the issue. My past project isn't what we're debating. Let's look at the facts of this one. By refusing to get emotional, you win through clarity. Remember, attacking a person does not defeat their argument. Truth stands independent of personality. Chapter 3. The straw man fallacy. This fallacy occurs when someone misrepresents your argument, making it easier to attack. For example, if you say, "We should have reasonable limits on car use to reduce pollution," and your opponent replies, "So you want to ban all cars and ruin people's lives?" That's a straw man, a fake version of your idea, built only to be destroyed. To win, calmly correct the distortion. "That's not what I said. I'm suggesting balance, not a total ban." Precision and patience destroy the straw man every time. Chapter 4. The appeal to authority. Sometimes people believe something simply because an expert said it, but experts can be wrong. Appealing to authority is not real proof unless the authority is directly relevant and supported by evidence. For example, a famous actor said this diet works, so it must be true. That's an appeal to authority without foundation. Instead, look for data, not names. To win arguments, respect expertise, but never worship it. Always ask, "Why should we believe this person?" True reasoning is built on evidence, not fame. Chapter 5. The Slippery Slope. This fallacy suggests that one small step will inevitably lead to disaster. If we let students use calculators, soon they won't know basic math. That's a slippery slope, assuming a chain of doom without proof. To counter it, ask for evidence of each step. What makes you sure this will happen next? Logic requires cause and effect, not imagination. Winning thinkers separate what could happen from what will happen. Chapter 6. The False Dilemma. Have you ever heard someone say, "You're either with me or against me"? That's the false dilemma, pretending only two options exist when in truth there are many. It forces you into a corner. In reality, life offers more shades in black and white. To win such arguments, expose the hidden middle ground. I'm not against you. I just see other ways to solve the problem. Freedom of thought often lives between extremes. Chapter 7. The Circular Argument. This is when someone uses their conclusion as their proof. Example: the law is just because it's the law. That explains nothing. It's a loop, logic chasing its own tail. To challenge it, ask for an independent reason. What makes it just besides the fact that it's the law? Breaking the circle forces real reasoning to appear. Chapter 8. The Hasty Generalization. Humans love patterns, but sometimes we jump too fast. If one dog bites, we say all dogs are dangerous. If one person from a group acts badly, we label the whole group. That's a hasty generalization. To avoid it, remember, a few examples never represent everyone. Winning arguments rely on broad, balanced evidence, not a single story. Chapter 9. The Appeal to Emotion. When facts are weak, emotions become the weapon. People may cry, shout, or play on fear to control others. Advertisers use it constantly. If you love your family, you'd buy this. Emotions can be beautiful, but they are not proof. To win, acknowledge feelings, but stay anchored in reason. I understand how this makes us feel, but let's also look at the evidence. Calm truth always outlasts loud emotion. Chapter 10. The False Cause. Correlation is not causation. Just because two things happen together doesn't mean one caused the other. Example: every time I carry my umbrella, it rains, so my umbrella causes rain. That's false cause. When you hear such reasoning, ask, could there be another explanation? Good thinkers search for real causes, not coincidences. Chapter 11. The Bandwagon Fallacy. Many believe that if everyone agrees, it must be right. But popularity is not proof. History is full of famous mistakes made by crowds. To win arguments, have the courage to stand apart. Truth does not need majority approval. It needs reason. Chapter 12. The Red Herring. The red herring is a distraction when someone changes the topic to confuse or delay. If a politician is asked about education but answers by talking about the economy, that's a red herring. It smells strong, but it hides the real issue. To win, bring the discussion back gently. That's interesting, but let's return to the question. Clarity wins over confusion. Chapter 13. The Appeal to Ignorance. This argument claims something must be true because it hasn't been proven false. No one can prove aliens don't exist, so they must be real. That's an appeal to ignorance. Lack of evidence is not proof of anything. Real reasoning admits uncertainty until facts appear. Winning minds are comfortable with "I don't know yet." Chapter 14. The Burden of Proof. The person making a claim must provide the evidence. If someone says ghosts exist, the burden of proof is theirs, not yours to disprove. Many lose arguments by accepting unfair burdens. When faced with such tactics, simply say, if you claim it's true, please show the evidence. Reasonable debate rests on proof, not belief. Chapter 15. The False Analogy. Sometimes arguments use comparisons that don't fit. For example, employees are like nails. They work best when hit. That's not a fair analogy. It manipulates by exaggeration. To counter it, examine how the two things differ. Good analogies clarify. Bad ones deceive. Chapter 16. Winning without fighting. True mastery of argument is not constant debate. It's knowing when silence wins more than words. Some people argue only to provoke emotion or gain attention. The wise person saves energy for discussions that matter. Winning every argument does not mean defeating every person. It means staying rational, calm, and respectful, even when others are not. You win by keeping your integrity. Chapter 17, The Art of Listening. Most arguments are lost because people stop listening. They prepare their next sentence instead of hearing the other side. Listening is your secret weapon. It reveals what people truly value: their fears, their logic, their weakness. Listen carefully. Repeat their point to show understanding. Then answer with reason. That moment of respect often changes everything. Chapter 18, Persuasion Through Questions. Smart debaters don't always tell, they ask. Questions lead the other person to see truth for themselves. For example, instead of saying you're wrong, ask, what makes you sure that's true? A calm question turns conflict into reflection. Winning arguments is not about dominance. It's about guiding minds gently toward clarity. Chapter 19, The Psychology of Belief. Logic alone rarely wins hearts. People cling to beliefs because they serve emotional needs, identity, comfort, pride. To truly persuade, speak to both reason and emotion. Use stories, analogies, and empathy. Let people feel respected even as they rethink their view. A belief defeated by humiliation returns stronger. A belief changed through understanding becomes truth. Chapter 20, The Victory of Clarity. At the end of all arguments stands one goal: clarity. Winning every argument does not mean always being right. It means refusing to be lost in confusion. It's about seeing what is true, fair, and logical, even when others can't. As you practice these skills, you'll find daily life changing. Conversations become calmer. Persuasion becomes natural. And people will start to listen because clarity attracts respect. Conclusion. You have just explored the principles of how to win every argument, inspired by the classic work of Madsen Pirie. These lessons are not for manipulation, but for understanding. They teach how to protect truth from distortion and how to express your ideas with strength and grace. In a noisy world full of misinformation, your best weapon is calm reasoning. Use it with kindness. Use it with respect. And you will find that real victory in argument is not to silence others, but to bring more light into the discussion. This text is an original educational summary and reinterpretation inspired by How to Win Every Argument by Madsen Pirie. It is written entirely in new language for fair use learning and non-commercial presentation.